But Derrick Nnadi having the experience, you know, obviously a relatively limited athlete, not somebody who's going to offer really anything in the pass rush, and somebody who's not too inspiring. But I will say, like in terms of him versus Leaky Fotu of last year, I'll take Nnadi. And even over Kinlaw at times, like Kinlaw was just so hot and cold, explosive, but got way overpaid. Nnadi is at least an okay run stuffer. Nothing as a pass rusher, which makes him a below average D tackle. You could do worse. We'll see though. Nnadi run tackle. Okay, we have him right here as a 2I. Okay, this time he's just stringing out the run right here. Obviously matches the zone steps of the offensive lineman. Works his hands into the inside shoulder of the guard. Gets a good base. Gets a good wide base. Anchors down versus double team, which again, typically you do want to turn that left shoulder a little bit to the outside, so you're limiting the contact area that the center can pick up. So we want to improve that a little bit. So there's some anchor technique things there with Nnadi throughout the review. But in terms of one getting low, we see the thick base that he has, keeping extension from the center or getting extension from the center with an inside pillar, working through the right outside instep up and through the left arm, keeping his eyes in the backfield, seeing the running back pop through that gap, getting his hands out and getting involved in the tackle. So good job stringing it out. Good job mostly holding his ground versus a combo, and then making the tackle. Let's see. Stop but not recognize combo for Nnadi. Okay. You're one tech. Okay. So we like the effort to get back into this. Obviously, we have the right guard here who uses a ricochet technique to get back to Nnadi. Nnadi doesn't see it at first. Obviously, engages the center. Doesn't feel that that combo is coming. Is standing pretty much straight into it while looking in the backfield instead of really, again, lowering himself, turning the left shoulder in, widening the base, working off the insteps. He takes it on pretty high, which is why he gets popped back, but gets back involved in the run, gets left hand inside, crosses the face of what is it, the center, crosses the face of the center, runs the feet, gets back in on the tackle. So good recovery there. Obviously not the best start in terms of again, him getting popped up like that. Okay. Run stop for Nnadi. Again, a lot of this is going to be run stopping. The pass rushing thing, he doesn't have a lot of explosion. He doesn't have a lot of moves. I'm not going to put up 20 plays of him just not rushing the passer. Just believe me that he can't really do it. A lot of this stuff's going to be in the run game for Nnadi. So run stop, one tech right here. Okay. So I'm not sure if there's an exchange or something like that with the linebacker where he has the flexibility to go either A gap, right? So movement to the left, sees that Brandon Sheriff is picking him up. Left hand inside, right hand inside, some extension, lowering the base, peeking into the backfield, seeing ETN work to his left to Nnadi's right. Okay. Frees up the outside arm, makes a tackle. Okay. So he has some power, even though he comes up into this block pretty much straight up. He still lands his hands inside, which is good. Again, has the wherewithal to drop his base, look into the backfield, free up that outside arm, make a tackle on ETN. Pass deflection. 91 right here. One tech. Again, not really going to offer much as a pass rusher here. Plays the run at first. Notices, okay. Quarterback still has the ball. Tries to then long arm him. Right? He's not going to get there though. Sees Lawrence starting to load up to throw that ball. Gets the hand up. Pass deflection. Right? So if we can't get there, at least get our hands up. Who was that? Coney Ely? Any Coney Ely fans out there for the longtime Jet fans? Coney Ely was great at getting his hands up. There's a he had a couple of game stretch, he had like 8 or 9 pass deflections or whatever it was. It was ridiculous. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but maybe not. 2I right here, Nnadi. No description, just Nnadi. All right. Yeah. So not necessarily the best play in terms of like, hey, is this replicatable? They're running some pin and pull action, right? Down, down. And Nnadi takes on a combo from the tackle and the guard. Again, takes it standing, not straight up. He didn't sink super low. His base is decent. Again, didn't turn that shoulder, so he does get popped back a little bit. Just the momentum of the combo block working inside kind of spins that shoulder, spins the shoulder. He sees the run or feels the run going to the outside just based on the guard's action, spins out of it, finds the running. He expects contact right here. There's nothing there. Finds the running back, makes a tackle. So just more of a fun play. Nothing. This is not a technique. Hey, spin out of combos. But somewhat entertaining to watch. Late to shed, bull and tackle. Okay, one sec right here. So yeah, want to get off this just a second earlier. So that's a little bit nitpicky, but overall, good job taking on one guy, low, hands inside, is linear, bull rushes him back. Now, obviously, you want to keep your eyes up a little bit, and recognize the run a little bit earlier, because if that running back didn't have to cut it back into you, you're probably not making the tackle here. But again, the start is good with the leverage, obviously much better leverage than the other guy. Hands inside, which is great. Run them back. Want to keep those eyes up. Is a step or two late to get there, but the running back is forced to cut it back into him. So frees up the inside half, makes a tackle. It's a good job. Um, we have a lag tech here. Okay, so we have bear front. He's zero tech over top of it. And by the way, I watched his 2023 and 2024 season. So if you're like, oh, McGovern's on the team and Zach Wilson, yeah, this is 2023, the game that we got robbed on. So it looks like he may be lagging right here, where he's just working opposite of the center. Is gonna hold up this um the backside shoulder, and a lot of what lag technique is typically against like combos. If you're gonna hold up that high leg, he's not gonna be able to climb to the second level, and then you're gonna take two guys on and just be a space eater. So it's typically it's a good technique to take on combos and not let anybody climb to the linebackers, keep the linebackers clean. So it looks like he is lagging, just stepping opposite. Good hand placement, obviously good leverage, good base here. Gets the extension, works through it, eyes into the backfield on Dalvin Cook, who should have never been signed. Um, Sees him cutting back, club, free himself up, square up Cook, pop him. Again, one of the worst signings I've seen the Jets make was just watching that guy's film. Like how do you want to sign this guy for $7-8 million, whatever it was? Just complete reach. And he had Jets fans chanting his name at camp when he wasn't signed yet. It's quite ridiculous. Nonetheless, two eye tech right here. Okay. Now it matches the zone steps of the offensive lineman. Hands inside of 72, Ben Cleveland, right? Turns himself away from the combo this time, turns himself away from the combo, finds the running back, or maybe he doesn't see the running back here and sees that he's going wide. So then he starts to get a little bit wide, right? Works the hands, works the extension, crosses the face of Ben Cleveland, finds the running back for the tackle. Now, the one thing I will say, or obviously I'll say quite a few things in this entire review. One thing that he does do, and this one he may have had to dive to make the tackle, he does leave his feet too much. He dives for tackles and jumps on guys a little bit too often. It looks like sexy in highlights, but there's times where he gets shed because of his feet aren't under him, making that tackle. So move the wrist combo. Okay, 91 right here, two eye. Okay, move that to the screen. Now, listen, you have you're 320 pounds versus 640 pounds or whatever these guys collectively weigh. So it's not always easy. People are like, oh, you just anchor down versus combos. It's not an easy thing to consistently replicate. Nobody really does unless you're 350, and even those guys I'm sure get moved at times. He matches the zone steps, takes on Cleveland with hands inside. The problem is, again, he doesn't really turn himself away from that pressure. He does it kind of at the last second, but it seems like the center gets his left arm in there. Wide base working off the insteps. The problem is if you let guys attack your center of gravity, you're going to get moved. And your frame, if he has that left hand inside and his right hand into the hip there, it's going to be almost impossible for him to anchor down. And just naturally, listen, he's 315, 320. He's not, again, 350. He's not, 340 like Al Woods. So he's not going to anchor down as good as guys who are that big. He offers a little bit more movement skills laterally than those guys, which is good. But in terms of just straight up anchoring down versus combos, he's not going to be as good as other people. Because that one wasn't even terrible. He had good base, he had good hand positioning. He could have turned his shoulder a little bit earlier, but he still got moved quite a bit, regardless of at least decent technique. Run stop, he's right here. He's your one tech. Okay. Again, so, and a lot of these plays are going to be decently similar, obviously, with them all being runs. They run like duo with an insert, almost looks like, with seven supposed to insert, but 75 gets his face crossed, so he adjusts on the fly, I'm assuming. Nonetheless, you have Nnadi who's taking on the guard, lands his hands first, seems to have maybe decent leverage, a little bit hard to tell with the camera and all that stuff there. But lands the hands inside first, which is important. Eyes are up consistently, so he gets his eyes in the backfield well. Sees the running back cutting it back, uses the extension, crosses the face, squares up the running back, gets in on the tackle. Okay. Half tackle, one tech right here, 91. Okay, so you see him holding up pretty well here versus ends up being a combo. Okay, tight zone. I'm assuming this is a run situation just based on how everybody kind of plays it, but takes on the center, good hands, low in terms of his leverage, hands inside, extension, eyes into the backfield, anchors on that left foot, goes to clear himself because Javonte Williams, is it Javonte? Right? Yeah. He's kind of working towards him initially, frees up the outside half to make the tackle. Williams cuts it back. Nnadi then gets the elbow extension, as well as the right hand extension, gets in on the tackle. Right. He's kind of tossing around the center right now, which is it Lloyd Cushenberry for the Broncos? I could be wrong. But yeah, good job not getting moved there. Not the most forced try to be, not the best play by the left guard there, really trying to create any momentum, but he still holds up pretty well, right? So him being like people like I don't know. I feel like I'm not saying he's crazy bad. I don't know. And people go off of numbers and stuff. I'm not sure if it's like, okay, he doesn't get pressure at all, so that's why he's so bad. But in terms of the run game, he's at least okay. I think he's okay in the run game, which I'll take. It's better than anything we had last year in the run game. Obviously, mine's Q. Look better than it was for Nnadi. Okay. So highlight type play that if you actually break it down, not maybe the best technique. Here looks sexy. Do you want to be taking on two guys? Unless your linebackers are like blitzing behind you, which they may be, and you want to hold